Okay.
Okay, cool.
Um, so the poem I wanted to share is actually from a book I published. So I
Wow.
don't know if that's going to be an issue to the video. I know it's no issue on my part because if I'm sharing it, I'm obviously giving permission on it, and they're still my poems even though I published it
Yeah.
because I did it
Mhm.
as uh I published it through Dorrance Publishing, but I kept all the poems mine so that way I could still share it without having any issues in that sort. So they don't
Exactly.
own any of it. I still own all of them.
Awesome. That's awesome, man. And again, hopefully they won't, like you said, I don't want to impede on any copyrights or anything, man. So are you good? You sure?
Yeah. I even asked them like, look, even after I
Okay.
publish this, will I still have all the rights? So like, you know what? If you self-publish, you have all the rights to everything. We can't do anything unless you tell us that
Mm,
this is infringement. And I'm like, okay, cool.
I love that. I love that,
Yeah,
man. You published a book. Like let's rewind it back a little bit. So you have a published like poetry book?
yeah. I kind of wanted to, and that's why I asked, and that's why I was hesitant to kind of explain because I wanted to make sure everybody was in here before I
Yeah.
kind of went in depth about that. You know what I mean?
Mm. And I mean, you can wait until Elena gets here as well, because I was going to try to ask her a few questions as well. But again, I don't want to impede on time. So I know time also is something that you have things you have to do even after this. So I want to make sure I
Yeah.
use the best time, the best of the time that I can as well. So you could ask it, and I'm recording this, so she can probably just listen to it even when she comes back in. But she may jump in 10 minutes, but it may be 15, it may be 20. So I'm not really sure. But if you want to just go ahead and just jump right into what you want to say, we could do that. We could definitely do that, man.
Okay. I think it was you that asked the question. Can you repeat the question for me? I forgot.
Yeah, just in general. Well, I was going to go into the aspect of why poetry. When it comes to Isaac, when it comes to who you are, your essence, your core, why did you choose? Poetry, I think, is an art, but it's also an outlet. Why did you choose this form of an outlet?
I think long story short, when I was really young, like first grade, I wrote a book, and honestly, I don't remember much about it.
Hmm.
Uh, my teachers wanted us to write a book. I wrote like a 7, 8 page book about whatever it was. I mean, I was 8, so I don't think it
Hmm.
was very intricate and whatnot.
Yeah.
But I know when I was older, I I was trying to fight against kind of uh, the creativity and all that stuff. I was in band, so I kind of did that. So
Hmm.
I think why I didn't like it at first, and by my last year of high school, I really loved band. I loved the music. I loved uh, the expression of it all.
Hmm. Yep.
But at first, I didn't like it because I was forced into it. So it wasn't. It was kind of a love hate relationship, and it built upon time.
Hmm.
Uh, I also know that other other modes of uh, self help.
Hmm.
Can't think. Uh, Other ways to cope were cut off for me. So
Yeah.
I used to like to play video games because I could play
Hmm.
games that were like uh, competitive
Yep.
or you know fighting games to beat other things up because I don't want to
Yeah.
beat people up. I don't
Yeah.
want to get into that. That gets me in trouble. But so it releases the stress
Yeah.
without in a creative way.
Yep.
And once I couldn't do video games anymore, it produced itself in poetry, and that's how it
Mm.
started.
I love it, man. I love it. I love it. And I'm glad that you even stated that too, that, it was something you were forced into. Now that is very interesting. And when you say forced into, you're literally saying that someone had you just write poetry. Like this was something that you had to do in terms of, you said school?
I think the missing part is I wasn't really forced to do poetry. I was forced into band, which is kind of it's musical expression, and then I couldn't play video games anymore. So I think
Mm,
the musical expression brought about some type of writing because I liked writing beforehand, but I never did poetry. So I
mm,
think it was kind of the uh, the stars aligning in the correct way to where poetry ended up being the next uh, way I ended up coping.
Okay, gotcha. So through music, you were introduced to poetry because you were already writing. You said, I guess, writing music and things of that nature, but poetry kind of came along after that.
Yeah, I had a lot of inspirations from Eminem. Um,
Oh,
he expressed how he felt in such a beautiful way.
oh yeah,
I I couldn't ignore it, and when something like that changes your aspect of life,
yeah.
you go, man, I want to try that. And
Mm-hmm.
after so long, I was like, I don't know if other people will like my poetry, but that doesn't matter to me anymore because
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy my own poetry. And even if it's not great poetry, even if it's not good poetry, if it's horrible poetry, I'm not saying it is.
Yeah.
But
No, it's not.
all I'm saying is that the poetry I've written has saved my life
Yep.
in more ways than one. So even if everyone else hates it, it's not for everyone else. It's for me.
Mm,
I am more than happy to share my poetry.
mm.
But if people don't like it, then it's no skin off my bones.
Exactly. And I think that's what you have to have as an artist. Talea, you're more than welcome to chime into this conversation. We're conversing and just getting to know each other a little bit before the actual poetry. Because she's an artist as well, Isaac. She's the fashion designer.
Oh,
So
okay.
she designs like clothing. She just designed this dope purse. Like Talea, come on now. I know you can hear me, but but
I,
I'm hyping her up, man, because she's so talented. And one of the questions I asked her is pretty much what you just touched on. This is Elena, by the way. She's actually hopping in. All right, let me actually introduce her as well before I continue to go. Okay, there we go. What's going on, Elena? We were just talking about you. Good stuff. I'll wait until you get in here. I know you have to connect. Oh, I think she's dropped. Okay. So she'll probably be back. But yeah, with that said, Isaac, pretty much I asked Talea, in regards to her artistry, you know, how does she deal with the backlash or the negativity or the people that have put her down or in some sense doubted her. Um, she's coming back in here. Let's see. Okay, here we go. Okay. Hey, Elena.
Hey,
Hey, how you
hold on.
doing?
Good. Okay,
That's
there we go.
Hey, and again, y'all did not have to turn your camera on. So even if you have to do something, Elena, as well, you're fine. You can turn it off.
No, it's okay.
Okay.
I just had to get ready because after this, I'm going to a surprise birthday party for my mother-in-law.
Hey, let's go. Hey, well, bring the poetry with you. You can do it in there. That's what's up. I love it. I love it. I was just telling Isaac. We're kind of in a conversation right now where we're just getting to know each other better. Why poetry is the question. Why did you choose poetry? What made you kind of funnel your way into it? We were kind of going into that whole aspect of it. I know you and Isaac, you're both in my group, so I know y'all have seen each other in terms of conversing in terms of through text. But
Right.
now more so audio. Isaac, Elena, Isaac. So if y'all want to introduce each other.
nice to meet you. How are you?
I'm good. It's nice to finally meet you and hear a voice to your poetry.
Uh, I think I don't know if you guys ended up seeing it, but I did one of those videos. I don't know if I posted, but I think I had my voice on there that one time.
Mm. Wait, you posted a video in the group?
Uh, I think so. I attempted to at least.
Man, yeah. If so, I'm not sure if.
It was the same poem that I was inspired from Elena. I wrote it and just posted it, and then I did the video afterwards.
Oh, okay. I might have missed it,
Yeah, I might have missed it too. I'm wondering why did I miss it? Oh,
but that poem was a really good. It was really.
it was really good. Exactly.
It was inspired from a good poet as well.
Man.
Thank.
And you actually you saying that you posted a video of you actually reading that poem.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow. Okay. I don't know why I didn't see it. Yeah, I try not to miss anything in my group, so it kind of aggravates me. Okay.
It's
I'll
all good.
find
I
it.
think I posted 3 times that day, so it could have been missed.
Okay, man. I'm sorry about that. Well, one thing for sure too to remember in terms of Facebook groups, when you post, you sometimes have to wait when you post a video because the video takes a minute to render and load and actually post. But if you exit out of the app, it'll stop uploading. So make sure that happens as
Oh,
well. Yeah.
okay. Yeah, that might have happened. Okay, because I exited out of that pretty quick.
Yeah. That probably did it. Yeah, that probably did it, man. But it's fine. No problem at all. Yeah, and again, I'm just glad that you both, Elena, Isaac, Talea, Elena, she is also in my art group. You remember she's the fashion designer.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's her. But she wants to kind of listen in, so she kind of she on the side and she hiding right now. But we're gonna get her on the virtual talent show. So that's a whole different other thing.
That- I'm
Yeah, that's
excited.
gonna be exactly. I'm excited for that too. Isaac, I gotta put you in the art group as well. We're doing a virtual talent show group, a virtual talent show for the group as well. I think next week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll say I need some fashion sense for sure. So.
Hey man, hey, but poetry too. Poetry too is art, so it's my art
Yeah,
group. Yeah. So I
Nah,
would love for you.
I'll say if Talea wanted to talk, she could give me some advice about fashion sense because I don't got no fashion.
Listen, hi guys, I'm Talea. I hope you hear
Hey.
me. Isaac, Elena, it's nice to meet you. I'm done hiding, Trey. So I cut my mic off.
I'm
Turn my
sorry.
mic on. And Isaac, anytime I'll give you some help. I don't know if I'm the best person, but I'll give you some help.
The best person.
I'll say my own fashion advice is not great, so I think anything would be a step above. I'm sure you could give me plenty of things that I go from looking like a 4 to a 7 with fashion sense.
I would say dress how you feel.
Mm.
And the more you dress how you feel, I think you start to develop your own style versus trying to follow a trend. So if you dress how you feel, ultimately, you always look good.
I think for me it's like I don't really focus on like the clothes I wear and whatnot. I'm not really doing it for like I don't know. I'm not sure how to explain it, but I don't really right now I got nice black pants on, but I got a sweatshirt on top.
Yeah.
It's not very fashionable.
But that's comfy.
Exactly. I have on a black sweater with some jeans.
It's a trend going around. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. And like she said, I think at the end of the day, it's who you are. Like, not trying to accept. And that's actually, you know what? You just did a full circle, Isaac. I like that. Because we were just talking about, again, people denying you in terms of your art. Isaac was saying he wanted to share his art, but he doesn't care, if people like it or not. He's still gonna do him. Again, I think that's the essence of an artist. Like an artist is somebody that literally goes, man, I don't care what anybody. I don't care. Like, you can say whatever you want to say. I could have a booger in my nose and still read poetry. I don't care. Like, and I've done it before. Just so y'all know, I didn't have those moments. But it's the aspect of not caring about what people think, and I think that's what sets a level 10 artist from like a level 1 artist. When you strip off that not caring about what anyone else thinks, man, you're dangerous. You're dangerous. Like the world is afraid of you because now it's like, you know what? We can't tame this person. Like, we may have to kill him. They like they may try to. They may just try to kill you. I'm sorry.
They're gonna have to.
Say it again.
So in order to silence me, they're gonna have to now.
Mm-hmm.
We go.
Amen. I like that.
Exactly. And so again, that's why I do stuff like this. That's why I do what I do in terms of my groups, because I'm just like, man, y'all gotta get these voices out there. Y'all are just too dope. Y'all can't be hiding in these DMs. I talk to all y'all in the DMs, but I'm like, nah, I gotta put this together. And then I'm recording this also, Elena, so that you know as well. So I'm recording it. Whatever you want to say or share, the world would hear it. I'm sorry, but I'm gonna post it. Like, I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. Say it again.
I said, I'm gonna put this away then.
Nah, don't maybe come over. I'll come. I'll fly there. If I have to get that book, but we have to hear this. So again, thank y'all so much for showing up. Isaac, I think were you in the middle of answering my question? The why art? I'm sorry if I interrupted you.
I think I answered it. I think I told you that I went from the musical aspect where I was forced into, and then I had to be. I used video games as a kind of a cope, and then I couldn't use video games anymore. So I used writing, which I had used before, but then it turned into poetry because of the first heartbreak, first breakup. You know what I mean?
Can you go into that a little bit, man? Before we get, I'm sorry, I may open up some wounds. I just want to know, like how did that inspire the first poem? You did tell us that in the group.
Okay, so what I think happened, if I remember correctly, because it was 2009, I believe.
Yeah.
Now, so it's been a minute.
Mm-hmm.
I always had trouble at home, so my father would never really pay attention to me. The only time he would pay attention to me is if it was negative attention. So it was always he didn't know how to cope with his emotions very well. So every time he felt like overstimulated with his emotions, he would take it out on me. He chose me. So I had dealt with that for a long time even before that. I think the sort of emotional abuse started at like 8, 9 years old, so really really young. It might have been younger than that because if I explain that whole process, it could be as I don't know. You guys know a lot about narcissistic personality disorder?
Well, yeah, absolutely. Yep. Multiple personality. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Not multiple personality, narcissistic.
Oh, narcissistic. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, first stage is love bombing. So, however long that happened, I don't know. But I was used to that. I was not used to dating. So this was my first long-term relationship. Uh, the one before that it was like 2 weeks or 3 weeks, so I didn't really count that. I dated a girl for 8 months. I tried to communicate to her and be like, look, there are times where I'm going to be kind of distant, and you're going to have to like kind of bring me back into that, bring me back into uh, like right now. And I can't help that because obviously I was being emotionally abused at home, so I had to distance myself. I had to be aloof and whatnot. And us being high schoolers, we just figured we knew everything, right? So at the point where I was starting to distance myself, and I didn't even realize it at first, she went and found attention somewhere else. So she found attention from this guy who, he obviously wasn't a great guy. He was new and mysterious and this and that. I mean, he didn't have a great track record. He'd already kind of had run-ins with the law and whatnot. But he was attractive to her, kind of that bad boy image, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they kissed, and then the whole situation, after she cheated on me, she convinced our entire friend group that I cheated on her. So not only did she lie to the entire group, I was alienated from that group. And then she started to emotionally attack me, saying it's my fault that she cheated on me with him. And then, at that point, my emotions were really messed up, and I did a lot of damage at that point too, because I dated a new girl, cheated on her with my ex. It's kind of like a love square kind of thing.
Man,
but in all seriousness, my ex tried to shift the blame all onto me. She goes, "Oh, it takes two to tango." I'm like, who cheated on me first? What are we talking about?
Yeah.
So it started there because I couldn't like I didn't know how to like go about the situation through my actions. So I had to one night I just so many thoughts from my head, and then about 2:33 in the morning, because my father yelled at me about 3 hours before. I was like, I can't sleep. I need to start writing something down, anything. And I started writing, and then all of a sudden it became poetry. I started rhyming words and whatnot. So that's where it started.
Ooh. I know they usually snap, so I'm gonna just snap. Like that right there. Oh, like thank you, Isaac. I want to thank you for sharing that, because that's not easy. That's not easy to uproot, things that you have gone through. And again, my story, y'all make my Elena, you and Isaac, y'all make my story look small. I'm like, man, I'm not. I was like, man, I shouldn't even tell my story because y'all have like gone through some way worse things. But again, thank y'all, and I truly admire both of you for stepping out of your comfort zone, man, and always being with Elena. You already know, and then Isaac, hearing you, man, just I marvel at that. I'm like, man, are they really? Y'all do remember I said we're recording. Like, y'all remember that? Okay, I'm just making sure because y'all are transparent, and I love that. And so again, say it again.
Can I add something in there?
Please.
Isaac, I just want to applaud you and say that you're amazing for communicating with her in the beginning, because not a lot of people do that. Not a lot of people are aware of themselves enough to communicate their needs and expectations in a relationship. So you doing that shows that you already started out on a foot that you tried to let her know, like, hey, I'm gonna need this. And she ignored that. So, and as poets, people who love poetry and write poetry, I feel like the words just
words of affirmation,
right. They just spill out in their own way. Like sometimes I'll just be talking and Ramon will be like, "That's deep." And I'm like, I didn't try to say it like that was the only.
Yeah.
Like sometimes it's the only way we can express ourselves or our emotions. Like they come out in their own words. But I just wanted to applaud you for just being upfront with her and communicating that. It takes a lot from anyone, really.
Thank you. I think Jez and Marie, you guys both know this part. I don't think Talea knows. I do want to mention that I wrote that poem, and the next day I gave it to her so she could read it herself.
Okay. Ooh.
I like that.
Okay.
Talea, what you got to say? Look.
I agree with Elena. It's good that you voiced that up front. A lot of people don't have self-awareness. And as an adult, sometimes it's kind of mind-boggling that it's like, how old are you and you don't know this? But I think that's the place where we must give people grace and also protect our peace. And it sounds like what you cared more about was your peace and your sanity than the relationship specifically with that person.
I had enough insanity at home. I didn't need insanity outside of the home.
Ooh, hey, even better.
Right. Hey, it's the poetry.
Recognize that, and that's amazing.
Yeah.
I don't say, even with my ability to be more self-aware than normal at that age, I knew that I could only handle so much insanity, and everyone has a breaking point. So I knew that if I continued down that path, it would be not great. It'd be much more difficult than it is now.
Exactly.
That's amazing.
Hey, we ain't gonna get to the poetry, man, if y'all get this deep. Come on now. We gotta say this for another time.
Hey, who's going first then?
Well, Elena, I do want to get yours. I want to get yours as well. Talea, if you want to share yours too. I mean, it's more of a poetry. I was gonna get you with the art, but you can share yours too if you want to get in there.
Okay.
I told you, like, you ain't gonna be able to hide. You already get there. I'm sorry. But Elena, I'll hit you since I know you present your poetry. So why poetry? Why that for you?
Well, I didn't have a voice, at least so I felt, starting from a very young age. I was sexually abused at the age of 3, up until I was 7. And so
at the age of 3, right?
3.
3.
So I already felt before I could even, fully speak or be a full child and even find my voice, it was kind of taken from me because I couldn't tell nobody. I couldn't talk about it. And when I was in, I think, 2nd grade, we started learning about poetry. And in 3rd grade, I started reading poetry books, and it spoke to me. It made me feel like this is exactly how I feel inside of my chest, and I need to just write it out like they write it. I need to learn how to express my voice the way that these books are expressing these feelings and emotions that I'm reading. And it spoke to me. And from there on, I love poetry.
Man, hey man, like, I don't even know what to say, man. Like, anybody else got anything to say? Like, I gotta process.
I have something I want to say, Elena. Thank you for sharing that, and thank you for being so open. That I too experienced that, and I didn't tell my family until I was about 23. So each year on my birthday, I'm reminded of that. And it was the same thing for me. I didn't know my voice until I spoke up about what happened. And that led me down the path of writing, not just poetry, but in general writing. So thank you for finding your voice with words and then using your voice with audio.
Well, thank you. That really means a lot.
And the
I
fact
have a
that
question too. Sorry about that.
no, go ahead,
Uh,
please.
Jez and I talked about this before you came in as well, but inspirations for your writing, like poets that you were inspired by, or musical artists.
Poets. So I forgot who the author is, but honestly, the poetry that got me into poetry was Where the Sidewalk Ends, because those were like the children poetry books at the time.
Yep.
So that really inspired me when I was younger. As I got older, Rupi Kaur is a very, very deep and raw writer. She says things how it is, and like her words cut deep. So Rupi Kaur is a really good one too. That really has inspired me as an older adult now.
Okay.
Sweet. Love that. And you said Whoopi Kaur?
Rupi Kaur, RUPI.
RUPI. Okay, cool. If you can post that in the group, like both of you, Isaac, you two, like if y'all have any inspirations that I can look into, please post that, please. But man, that again, Elena, I know your story. You've told me your story many times, but Talea, I gotta put you back in here. I know you're hiding, but I'm sorry. Like, like to see that, you know, you both can resonate with each other's story. Again, I didn't even know you both had the same experiences because Talea, this is not something you told me. So to hear you finally coming out in terms of that, sharing that with us, again, I want to thank you so much for that. Again, that's not something I think is easy to say, easy to express, or even trust or entrust someone with. And so again, I'm honored by both of you. And again, it just speaks volumes to what it is that I'm doing. Like it really shows there's a need for it, and that something like this, you know, is needed in terms of that, you know, connection, in terms of experiences and what people have gone through, to be able to talk it out. You know, let's just talk. Having a group of people that can come together and confide in each other in similar experiences is amazing. So thank y'all both. I had to say that. Yeah.
I can't even imagine. Like you are very strong for even keeping it inside that long. It takes a lot to hold on to and carry that weight for that many years. You know, I was in therapy starting at a young age. As soon as my father was the one who originally sexually abused me. So when he went to prison, I was put into therapy, and from there it was just therapy after therapy for years and years. But even then, I wasn't able to tell my story the way I wanted to. I was only able to tell what my mom wanted me to say or loud. And it wasn't until I got older, and maybe I think 16, 17, when I finally started to tell my story the way I wanted it heard. But you're a strong and amazing woman for carrying that weight so long, and I'm glad that you finally spoke about it and was able to talk about it. That's amazing.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Absolutely. You're welcome. Man, I love this, man. Y'all better make sure y'all follow each other. All y'all should be following each other.
We do, Elena. I want to connect with you, okay? Because Isaac, you too. But Elena, girl, something in me is saying y'all could be friends in real life.
I'm an awesome friend. I'm a very good listener, definitely. That comes from a long time of not having a voice of my own, but it's turned me into a great friend because I listen very well.
And I can back that up. Like, again, from just the short amount of time, it's been a few months, probably since me and Elena have known each other. And again, it has been nothing but support and love. So yeah, Talea, Isaac, Elena, make sure y'all are following each other and stuff. But again, thank y'all. Thank you all for answering that question. And I guess it's only right by me to answer it as well. I don't want to just, I know. I was about to say, all right, let's get into, I was like, all right, but I can't do that. So I think for me, man, you see, y'all stories are so amazing. I'm like, man, like, I think it was like a like I just heard a dog barking and I got annoyed and I just grabbed pen and paper. Now I'm like I honestly don't even think it was anything super. You know what? I think I could actually relate to Isaac. I think it was more so than I think I was always writing, or in some sense I was always expressing myself through music, art. Because I like to DJ, as you all see the music that I DJ with on my pages and things of that nature as well. I always loved, music, specifically R&B, because it was very soul felt music back then. Now I don't know what they're doing, but I'm trying to see. I'm pretty sure I was always like as some people may call it, a ladies' man in a sense. I always, had those aspects of maybe coming off as flirty, being very easily able to connect, talk with, flirt with. Eventually, it led to me knowing, females. That's always been like a natural thing to me. And maybe because it's my mom. I was a single mother, raised by a mom, so having that, being able to have that emotional side of you. I think a lot of females maybe become attracted to that or are attracted to that in a sense. And so that led to a lot of heartbreaks, both on my end and also me breaking the hearts of others.